Hello everyone. In the previous video, I almost finished with the inventory system, kinda. I'm saying that because I finished with what I want to do and how I want to interact with the inventory. Um, so if I play now and press the I key, I have widget. Uh, I think this is 21 slots. And if I pick up the items, I have the icons. Of course, now I can drag and drop or split or inspect. And but I can press the drop key, and this is supposed to drop the item from the inventory. So I hide that again um, the image inside the widget. So I can drop everything, and the inventory is empty now. Uh, so before I um, put the gameplay ability system to the player state and maybe make a equipment manager component that manages the weapons, the accessories, the gear. Um, I want to finish a little bit about the um, inventory, about the dropping function, and later down the road I will fix also the montage, because if I pick up and move, uh, the montage continues to play. So maybe I um, disable inputs for a very short amount of time. Uh, so unless the montage is completed, I can't move. Either way, for now, I will leave it like that. And just a few things that I did is I cleaned up a little bit the item base, the code. I put comments so it's a little bit more readable. And I also put comments in the inventory system. And instead of in the event interact, instead of get player controller, which this will return the player controller that the possessed pawn has. I'm doing from the interactor cast to player controller, and then um, if it's successful, pass the action tag back to the controller. And I'm doing this because if I want to um, at some point go in multiplayer and not only single player, this would work much better than um, get player controller with player index 0. I believe that the player index represents um, the amount of players that the server has. I believe that, for example, the player index 0 will be the first player that joins the server. Uh, then again, I'm not 100% sure. Either way, I will use this. I know that the interactor should be the player controller because the component lives there. I cast to the generic native C++ player controller, and I pass again the tag. Okay, the first thing that I want to do for showing the dropping item is go back to items, to data, and in the PDA generic info, the primary data asset that I have, and I have all these categories, I will give another variable and say actor class, and this will be a an actor of soft class reference. And I gonna give a category of actor, maybe actor owner. Okay, I will close this, and for now, uh, the data asset ball, cube, enemy item I don't use, I believe. I use only these three. For now, I will go and say the actor owner is the BP Rusty Sword. Okay, the Rusty Scythe is BP Rusty Scythe, and the Rusty Hammer will be BP Rusty Hammer. Okay, and I will close this for now and go back to the content, to the inventory system, and I will open the component. So I have the function remove item, which I pass the index from the widget through um, some dispatchers. And what I'm going to do first of all is in event begin play, I will get the owner, get owner. This will return the player controller. I will cast to player controller. Then I can promote to a variable, so I have a player controller ref. Then from the player controller ref, I will get control pawn, and I will cast to character. And I will also promote this to a variable, so I have a character ref. Okay, and I believe that this shouldn't, the cast shouldn't fail. And also, I also believe that uh, the casting to the generic classes is okay because they are always in memory. The play controller, character, player state, game mode, all of those native C++ classes are in memory, so it's okay to cast. So I will make a category and say refs, and another category say inventory, just to be a little bit cleaner. And now in the remove item, I will actually make a custom event and say request to spawn actor. And this will take an index, an input of integer, and I will call it in the remove item. So remove item request to spawn actor, and the index is the index from the remove item. So I will pass. I am passing the index from the widgets in the sent in the action requested, and I switch on gameplay tags and say inventory actions dot equip. This should this would probably be a little bit confusing because I think I will use it in the equipment manager as well. Either way, I will leave it like that. And on inventory actions dot drop, I pass the index to the remove item, and now I will pass the index to request to spawn actor. So I can do get the inventory slots, get a ref, and I can do break. So after that, I can say in the item generic info is valid. Check first if it's valid because for some reason it could not be valid. Even though I am checking in the widget as well, it's just a little bit safer. So if it's valid, I can say get actor class async load class asset, and if it's valid on completed, I can say cast to actor class and then spawn actor from class, and the actor will be the casted actor. I can split uh, the spawn transform, and I can get the character f, get actor location, and I can do get actor forward vector, and I will add the actor location. I can say multiply by a very small number, very small float number like 200, and then I'm gonna add, and I will connect to the spawn transfer location. So now I believe this will work. If I play now and pick up the rusty scythe, for example, and drop the item, this getting dropped forward. The problem now is that if I pick up again, um, I have the wrong number, because the game thinks that uh, I placed it in the world, which is partially true, but in the item base, in the get interactable data info, I use the generic info, get the static min and max quantity, and because the is dropped is false by default, this will return always the static min and max quantity. So I can say from the spawn actor, the return value set b is dropped to true. So now if I play, I will pass the boolean, I will make it true. So if I drop, okay, if I pick up, nothing happens because I haven't set the remaining, or rather the quantity from drops. So again, I will pass around the set quantity interface, and the quantity will come from the struct the slot ID. Compiling. So if I go and play again and pick up the uh, scythe, for example, it doesn't matter, and drop, now the item is getting dropped. If I pick up again, nothing is happening. And that's because in the request to spawn actor, I get the inventory slots, and from the inventory slots, I get the generic info, and I request to async load the class asset. So this, what actually happens is that the engine makes a request and says, okay, I will async load this, meaning I will load this under the hood, but I will keep executing the logic furthermore. So um, the time that in the time that the engine tries to async load the class asset in the remove item, from the request to spawn actor, it jumps to set array element, and in the set array element, I return the variables to the default value. So slot ID is inventory slot empty, element none, rarity none, slot quantity 0, and the in the event graph, the slot quantity that I'm passing is 0. So that's why nothing happened. What I'm going to do is make another function and say store variables temp, and this will take an input of an integer, which will be the index, and I will take the inventory slots, get a ref. Again, I will break this, check if the primary data asset or rather the data asset is valid, and if it's valid, I will. Do I need to pass the slot ID? I will promote to local variables, everything. I don't need. I don't know if I need to pass the slot ID, but I will promote it and say slot or other item ID local local item quantity local uh, element tag local rarity tag local. And if it's valid, I will set every variable to a local variable. So when this function done, the local variables will destroy themselves. Then I will take the element tag, and then I will take the rarity tag. Okay, just to be a little bit cleaner. Okay, and I will return, and I will return every local variable. And the return node, this is the item ID, this is the item quantity, this is the element tag, and this is the rarity tag. Rarity tag. Compile and save, and now I can close this, I can close this, I can close this, and I can close this, and the inventory matching. And now instead of calling this first, I will take the store variables temp, and I will pass the index from the request actor to the store variable temp. Then I will check if it's valid, and I will hide a unconnect pins. Okay, and now I can set the quantity, the right quantity to the set quantity. So just to test things around, I will play. If I pick up, I have the icons. I will drop. The item is getting dropped. And if I pick, I should have uh, slot. The item quantity should be 5. Okay. So now I can pass the correct data again in the item base, and that's because this should be if I drop, for example, this should be a matching item. So this should be first to 5 because the max slot size is 5 for this specific item. This should go 5 and this should be 2. But because I'm not checking the element tags, or rather I'm not passing any element or rarity tag back to the item base, the tags is empty, so the matching slots return false for the first time. Return false for the first time. They getting add to a new um, slot index. So this returns false for the first time. Then check if inventory has empty slots. The inventory has empty slots. It breaks in the first index because the first index is empty. It's getting added, and now when the inventory runs again the matching slot, um, the element tag and rarity tag is empty, so indeed it has a matching slot. Uh, so yeah, I should pass the element and the rarity tag in the event graph. So from the uh, return value, I will say set element tag, and this is an interface that I'm using in the spawning system, but this is completely fine to use from the inventory, because if you think about it, the spawn actor, the item that I have in the inventory, it's indeed getting dropped. So I can say set rarity as well. The material we don't care for now because either way it doesn't work for these specific meshes. So from the store variable temps, I can connect the element and the rarity. Let me reroute this. Okay. And if I play now, I believe that this is going to work. So if I drop, it's getting dropped. If I pick up, now I have 2 and I have 5 in the last index. I can drop this and I can pick it up again. And yeah, that's why I believe I didn't need to pass the item ID, because the item ID um, lives inside the generic info, the primary data asset. So this will always be item dot something. But the quantity and the element tags, I'm not always using the static rarity tag or static element tag. So if this is true, I'm going to use a runtime rarity tag. That's why I couldn't find any matching slots. So yeah, this is it for the dropping system. Dropping system. I mean the dropping item. Maybe I separate it into um, functions to be a little bit more cleaner. Um, but yeah, for the next video, I plan to pass the data to an equipment manager. So I will make so actually I have in the generic blueprints, I have this BBC test from the. So if I go to the generic blueprints, actually I have a component which I was testing when I was making the input system. I want to make something that when I press a key, I can trigger many actions in different components. So I had the BBC test, and I will rename it now and say equipment manager. And this lives in the player state. I don't know why it doesn't. Maybe it is equipment manager. The name isn't didn't got updated. Either way, either I will make a new one or I will use this. And the plan is to pass the data from the inventory to the equipment manager first, just to see that if it's working, the passing car out data. And after I will give the gameplay ability system component to the player state, so I can start giving abilities and gameplay effects to uh, different weapons. So my plan is that if I pick up a sword, have a specific kit of abilities and gameplay effects. Um, Maybe the weapon will decide the animation blueprint as well. We will see. But um, yeah, each weapon it will have its own abilities kit. So that's it for this video. Just to test around things again. I can pick up, I can drop, the item is getting dropped, and I can pick up again. And now from 3, the quantity from 3 goes to 5, and um, in the first lot goes the rest of the quantity. So yeah, thanks for watching.